I have to tell you, I sunburned the top of my head. You can't really see, but if you catch me at the right angle, you know in Home Alone 1, where Joe Pesci gets his stupid hat super glued to his head, and then he pulls off the hat, and he's got like all the little bits of hat and hair like glued to the top of his head. That's basically what I look like in normal lighting right now. I know you can see it, but like it was worse 2 days ago. Turns out, so I put sunscreen on the top of my head. Guess what? It turns out that it doesn't work if you go underwater. But here's the thing, my idiot brain was like, swimming is so fun that I don't even care. And then like a couple hours after that, I was like, I care now, but that's okay. Isn't that Danny DeVito in Matilda? Hang on, hang on.
Baby, wait a minute. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. One more.
I know what you're talking about. They do super glue. Do they not super glue Home Alone, Joe Pesci hat glued to head? Okay, you're right. I have my movies mixed up. His head got lit on fire. In the second one, they filled the toilet with gasoline so that he actually explodes. I love the picture of you on Space Mountain. I love that everybody, like someone said, wow, NL's really like mastered taking perfect ride photos. No, I haven't. The only ride photo where I was in control of my reaction was the Frozen ride where I'm going like this. And that was like an ironic one because you're on Frozen, right? It has like no drop essentially. But the Space Mountain one was actually like pure fear. And it's great, like you guys don't get the unedited one because we don't want to like, put a photo of our nieces out there. But like my 8-year-old niece is in the front and my 11-year-old niece is right behind her. And they're both like, woo! And I'm gripping the gravity bar on Space Mountain like, ah! Like I'm seeing God. It's crazy. I'm not much of a roller coaster guy, but I went on some of the more exciting ones at Disney World, but it's not like Six Flags, You're not going on anything too insane. Were people just losing their minds in like 1970 when Space Mountain was built? It's a pretty like intense experience for 2023. In 1966, when people got on Space Mountain, people could have died on Space Mountain. Nowadays, you're like, woo! But back in the day, like when you'd like get on the carousel and then you go on Space Mountain and see God. Space Mountain only goes 27 miles an hour. Yeah, but it was built like before magnets existed, so the whole ride you're going like and it's in like the complete darkness. I rode Flight of Passage, the Avatar ride at Animal Kingdom. But I was laughing because for some reason like our ride got a little bit screwed up on Flight of Passage. And the dude next to us kept talking. He was cracking jokes. I was like, this guy should be a streamer. They do like a fake, like, we got to genetically match you to a Na'vi so that you can get your avatar to fly on the Banshee. And then it was like, error, genetic matching, error. And then the one dad was like, oh, sorry, guys, I think that's me. And then his kid like hit him in the leg and was like, Dad, it's a video. I think they do that every time. And then when we were sitting in like the ride vehicle, they do this fake like sinking thing. Probably while like the other like section of the ride gets prepared. It took like 6 or 7 minutes and we were sitting there like stuck at quote unquote 60%. And then the same guy was like, it's fun to think that one day we'll look back and say, hey guys, remember when the genetic pairing used to take so long? Now it only takes like a second. And his kids were like pissed off. And I was laughing my ass off. He was definitely the funniest guy in the Avatar ride. But I'm just going to say it. Maybe this makes me basic. Best ride at Disney World? Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Maybe just for me, it got a couple of extra bonus points because of the fact that they played Flock of Seagulls I Ran. Rise of the Resistance was really good too. Avatar was a lot of fun. I went on a lot of kids' rides too. I went on It's a Small World After All, I think 5 times with my daughter. A classic. You know what I realized though? I always hated Small World because it's like an earworm, but it's actually great because you get to sit down for like 9 minutes. Whereas most of the time when you like wait in line for a ride like that, you wait in line for like an hour and then you're on the ride for 3 minutes. But to get on the ride, and like my kid was losing her mind. It was like her favorite ride of all time. But for me, I was like, holy cow, it feels like it's 45 degrees Celsius outside and I get to sit down inside for 15 minutes and feel like a good dad. This is crazy. What about pirates? You know what I realized about roller coasters? I'm learning to live with myself and my unique neurological structure, okay? I think that I was scared of roller coasters because my parents primed me to be scared of roller coasters. When we would go to theme parks like once or twice in my entire childhood, my parents would be like, oh, I don't want to get on that ride. It's too scary. I don't want to get on that ride. It's too scary. I'm 5 years old. My parents are the only people in the world that I trust. I'm like, of course I'm going to be like imprinted with the idea that roller coasters are scary, okay? So even as an adult, I've been like, oh, that roller coaster is like too scary for me. But you know what saved my life is my 8-year-old niece was like, I don't like roller coasters. And then on the first day, we were like, ride that one with Kate and see if you like it. And she rode it and she was like, oh, I loved it. And then she rode all the scary roller coasters like for the rest of the trip. So I was like, I'm not going to be stunted on by an 8-year-old. I'm going to face my fears, okay? Here's where I'm at with roller coasters. I'm not scared of roller coasters. I don't like heights. There's a difference in the two things there. A roller coaster that goes really fast, or a roller coaster that goes through a loop, or a roller coaster that goes through twists and turns, that's no problem. A roller coaster that slowly takes you up very, very, very high and then drops you at as fast as possible, that's where I feel some discomfort, okay? But I'm getting there. I rode Space Mountain. Space Mountain is there's not really a drop. Guardians of the Galaxy, not really a drop. I'm more scared of roller coasters that are like, they're named like Behemoth. And it's like, check it out. Remember how last summer we made the tallest roller coaster of all time? Well, we made one 100 feet taller than that. And I'm like, well, I already shit my pants 20 times on Behemoth, but sure, let's shit it 105 times on Leviathan or whatever. Also, I get that this is kind of the point, but like maybe I should not design a roller coaster, but like I would love a roller coaster that had like a ride vehicle that completely closed you in. Because when you look at the stats, you're like, this shit only goes like 80 kilometers an hour. That's like the speed that you go on a 50 kilometer an hour speed limit road. Like I get that there's a difference. The difference is that when you're on like a little half bicycle and you got nothing on the side of you and nothing in front of you and you're like, I don't trust the restraints at all. And then they like launch you at full speed and you're like, when you're in your car, you're like, eating pistachios and tailgating. So you're distracted. But I think you could do a roller coaster that like sends you to space as long as they just put you inside of like a car. Because I'm pretty sure the monorail goes faster than like almost any ride at roller coaster or at Disney World. I just want to bring this up. Not everybody is and I'm glad that they're like this to some extent. Not everybody concerns themselves so much with not being an encumbrance on the people around them. But when I am in public, I tend to have an awareness of the people around me and the groups around me. Okay? Your brain naturally is like, those two people are walking together. That family of 7 is walking together, but for some reason they're all fucking walking 6 feet apart from each other, spreading out as much as possible. And it's not like they don't like each other. Like they're all having a conversation with each other where they're shouting, but at the same time, they can't be close to each other or walk in like double file line, because then they would be making an admission that it's not okay to be wasting somebody else's time by just getting in the way all the time. Regardless, the most important one is when you see parents and kids in a group, you never filter in between the group, okay? Because you make it easy for the kids to stay with the parents. The kids can get scared, they can get lost. The parents have got a lot to focus on, especially if they got more than one kid. It happened probably like 75 times a day. It would be like my wife and my 2 nieces walking. I would be less than a foot behind them, pushing my daughter in the stroller. And then like a family of 9 would just sidle in, like they'd rush to get in between us and then slow right down. Like they're in such a rush to get nowhere because they don't know where they're going. They can't wait half a second for this group to stay together. So instead they're like, I'm just gonna split you guys up really quick and then stand still and look at my phone. Is that okay? Now, I also saw lots of people that said, hey, you go ahead. Hey, sorry, like, my kid went a little crazy and they bumped into you. And we gave each other knowing nods that it's like, we're in this together, brother. Like, we're in this together, sister. But there's also a lot of people where I was like, I don't care if your like 10-year-old is looking at their phone, but like mom, dad, the 10-year-old and the 6-year-old, they can't all be looking at their phone. So the 6-year-old better put the phone away because the parents clearly are not responsible enough to drive everybody in the right way and keep everybody grouped together. So it's time to grow up, mister. And then so you'll just naturally like bump into people because they're looking at their phones, which I get because you need the app to like, figure out where you're going and you need the map. But they'll like bump into you because they're on their phone. And then I got mean mugged like once a day by and that's where the tweet came from. You would like bump into a dude, like you shoulder check. I'd say sorry and they'd look at me like this. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, sorry, I'm just trying to stay with my fucking family and walk in a straight line. I know that's weird here. And then their shirt is like Mickey Mouse wearing a hat that says there's no place like home. And I'm like, we're gonna pretend that we're hard? We're in Disney World, idiot. I'm not saying nobody fights in Disney World, but I'm too smart to get in a fist fight at Disney World. Don't even get me started, by the way. I don't know if you know this about Disney World, okay? I made that tweet about becoming a return to trad Twitter account, but only for those paper towel dispensers where it just has one lever, like a slot machine that you yank on, and then the perfect amount of paper towel comes out. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. Think about it every time I was in a damn Star Wars bathroom and they got the world's shittiest paper towel dispenser. You got to wave your hand in front of an electric sensor that only works 1% of the time. And then it spits out 1 millimeter of paper towel. And then it has like a sticker on top of it that says like, as a result of Disney's commitment to renewability and the environment, we encourage you to use as little paper towel as possible. Your ass didn't do anything. I'm the one using less paper towel. You're taking the credit. Meanwhile, your CEO is flying to the Super Bowl on a private jet. Bob Iger gets to fly to his damn friend's kid's quinceañera on a private jet just because I'm using 1 micrometer of paper towel all the time. But then, check this out, okay? At the vending machines, not the vending machines, but like the fountain drink area at many Disney areas, they've revolutionized drink technology. I know what you're thinking. We got cups and we got levers, and then the liquid comes out. How could it get any better than that? Check this out. You can now buy a reusable cup that has a microchip in the bottom of it. You place the cup with the microchip on the drink dispenser. It pings a damn server to check to see if your cup is valid because it only lasts like 7 days or something like that. It goes ping, 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 drink authorized. Then you press the button and you can get your damn drink. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that cause lots of problems? Yes, it does. And there's absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. Like, for example, you ever fill up like 90% of your soda cup and then you're waiting for the foam to come down so you can add more so you don't overfill it? Too bad, bitch. because you can only refill your drink once every 3 minutes. So if you don't get the pour that you liked on the first push, tough luck, motherfucker. Come back in 3 minutes so you could top that son of a gun up. We had cups and levers. It was perfect. We didn't have to get packets and TCP/IP protocols and stuff like that involved. Didn't have to have a Wi-Fi chip inside of the damn Coke machine. What's the problem? We don't need it, man. It was working perfect. You don't need an electric paper towel dispenser. You just yank on the slot machine and it spits out enough paper towel. Motherfuckers install like a little sink in the... They're like, wash your hands for 20 seconds. Meanwhile, the sink on full blast goes drip, drip, drip. Why does it go drip, drip, drip? As a result of Disney's continuing commitment to conserve water, we encourage you to use as little water as possible, but we will shoot you in the head if you don't wash your hands for at least 20 seconds because we're also trying to prevent infectious disease from being transmitted. Meanwhile, go out and watch a fucking water fountain spit hundreds of liters of water over and over just onto the sidewalk because it's all fucking miscalibrated and shit. Make it make sense, man. I'm just trying to wash my hands. Do they still do autographs at Disney? I mean, they do. I didn't bring my autograph book, though, which I'll never forgive myself for. Tweet that I didn't make, but actually happened. We saw the Frozen sing-along spectacular, all right? At the end of the show, Elsa comes out. She sings Let It Go. Of course, you know that because it's a Frozen show for little kids, right? Everyone cheered. It's like standing ovation when Elsa came out. Dude behind me said, I don't know why they're clapping. It's not even the real Elsa. There is no real Elsa, you dumb motherfucker. Go back to school. She's a cartoon. I meant it's not Idina Menzel. No, that's not what you said. You didn't say it's not Idina Menzel. You said it's not the real Elsa. You're fucking 53 years old. You know how embarrassing that is? Did you see the tweet about the guy who has $1.2 thousand in DoorDash from Hooters? Yes. Yes, I did. You don't need me to tell you this, I'm sure. I mean, $3,000 from Chili's is what everybody fixated on. And there's a lot there as well, because, like, that's just insane. Spending $1,200 on Hooters DoorDash is insanely funny. Like, I didn't know that it was a joke from 30 Rock, but there's that 30 Rock joke that's like, to celebrate, we should get takeout from Hooters. And then the guy's like, why would we get takeout from Hooters? And then he said, we'll know they touched it. That's just crazy, man. Now, I say that, I do want to say, I've never been to Hooters. My hypothesis is that the food is not that good, because then it would be named like Good Food Restaurant instead of being named a euphemism for the waitresses having particular attributes, okay? Let me put it this way. When we were in Disney World, we went to a rainforest cafe. And that restaurant is called the Rainforest Cafe. It's not called the Good Food Restaurant. So I think I have some understanding of the gimmick. The day after we went to the Rainforest Cafe, we went to a restaurant called T-Rex. And when I walked in, it was like PTSD. I was like, oh man, this looks a lot like the Rainforest Cafe. I looked at the menu, it's exactly the same menu. And the gimmick is that there's dinosaurs instead of like animatronic animals. At Rainforest Cafe, I ordered a Big Island Caesar salad. At T-Rex, I ordered a large Dino Caesar salad, Saladsaurus, something like that. Same exact thing came out. Like, I'm not trying to be an extreme hater. I get that I'm at the Rainforest Cafe. Like, in general, don't get me wrong, I had a good time at Disney World. The one thing that both me and my wife said about at least a third of the places we ate was like, why is the food so shit? Like, the rest of the parks, they've done an amazing job, but the food is like, I mean, the Rainforest Cafe and T-Rex, there's like no excuse. The Caesar salad was like, the chicken tasted like beef jerky. It was crazy. Food at Epcot was pretty good, I'll admit. But I feel like with Epcot, like, we had 2 young kids with us. So I wasn't about to get, like 12 beers from 12 different fake countries around the world. Also, I was that guy. I was at Disney World at Epcot, walked by the Canada section. I was like, I bet they'll have poutine. Cheddar and broccoli soup, famous Canadian cheddar and broccoli soup. What the hell are you talking about? What was the best thing you had? Listen, I didn't know that you guys know so much about Disney. Like, if someone brought this up to me 6 months ago, I would have been like, I have no frame of reference for what you're talking about. But now every time I say something, people are like, +2, +2, +2. I'm losing my mind. Best food we had? The Tusker restaurant in Animal Kingdom was a pretty sick African food buffet. That was really good. This one will blow your mind. It will shock you. You will not believe me, okay? Because what I'm about to say is going to sound crazy. The Toy Story themed restaurant, Roundup Rodeo, in Toy Story Land in Disney Hollywood Springs, it goes fucking crazy. It was incredible. That place sucks. You suck. I'm not shocked. The sides were good. The barbecue was pretty good. And the best part, the barbecue is like free refills, which is the only thing at Disney where they're not bending you over a barrel. I mean, like water is like $3.75. They come around, they're like, do you want some more brisket? I'm like, I better fill up now because I don't want to pay $9 for a blueberry muffin at breakfast. That's not barbecue? Listen, you Texas motherfucker. Brisket isn't barbecue? Come on. The barbecue in Epcot, USA goes hard. Motherfucker, you're going to Epcot and you're going to the American Pavilion. You're in America. The whole gimmick of the place is that you could try stuff from around the world. Your ass walks to the China stall and you're like, bacon cheeseburger dumplings? No thanks. I don't like ethnic food. Take me back to America. I didn't even know, I'm being sincere with you, I didn't know there was an America part of Epcot. I thought because the whole park was in America, like just everything that was not, like in the food part was America. I was laughing. We ate at a restaurant like, it was Winnie the Pooh themed. I know you're going to laugh, but it's fucking Disney World. What do you expect? But then also, the food at the Winnie the Pooh restaurant was fucking good, man. It was surprising. It was just normal food. It wasn't just like all honey or anything like that. Crystal Palace. That's what I said when I said, you motherfuckers, how do you know so much about Disney? I only learned about this shit because I was there. Anyway, the food was good. But I was laughing because they have the characters come to your table, right? Winnie the Pooh comes to the table. No big deal. It's Winnie the Pooh. He's affable. He's social. He's a little dumb, but that's why we love him. Tigger comes to the table. He's silly. He's bouncing around. He's trying to communicate with like the mascot sign language because they're not allowed to talk, even though they talk in the fucking show. Whatever. I'm not running the place, okay? Piglet comes over, does some belly laughs. The best, though, why they got Eeyore at the Winnie the Pooh restaurant coming around, man? The dude's defining trait is that he's depressed. If you made Eeyore, dude, like he's walking around to every table and then like dancing and like posing for pictures and giving people hugs. If that shit happened on the show, this motherfucker would kill himself. He would be dead. I get that he's like your favorite character, but it's just, there's like a dissonance between the character as they are on the show and the character as they are in the restaurant. This is not in keeping with the character of Eeyore to be paraded around to every single table and walk in the damn honey march every 20 minutes, right? If any, they should have him in like a box or something. You could be like, that's Eeyore. And you'd be like, hey, Eeyore, can we take a photo? He'd be like, sure, I guess. Can't come up to every table and go like, I'm Eeyore. It doesn't make any damn sense. You know what's crazy? Here's how crazy Disney World is. I'll give you an example. You literally can't do anything wrong. I think if you did something like criminal, they would kill you and then place the body outside of the park grounds so that it would look like you died outside of their jurisdiction so that they didn't have to like file a safety report. That being said, within reason, you're paying money to be there and be treated like a VIP. They literally can't get mad at you for anything, which is insane. One day, we were late for a reservation for an hour for lunch. An hour! We were supposed to be there at like 1:10. We got there at 2. People in front of us in line to speak to the host said, hey, we're wondering if you have a table for 2. They said it's going to be about a 45-minute wait. Is that okay? They said, yeah, no problem. We'll just hang out. We walked up. Hey, our reservation was like an hour ago. Can we still get in? They said, no problem. We're just wiping down your table. Now, I know that you were not wiping down that. I know that you radioed someone and said they're finally here, and they were like, oh, fuck, like figure something out. But they treat you different, man. It's crazy. I was thinking, everybody knows this, okay? Listen, I don't want to get in trouble here, okay? I get accused a lot of being a Disney adult, and I'm losing the ability to credibly run defense against that, okay? Because I'm going on the Disney cruises, I'm going to Disney parks, and I'm having fun. What I will say is I'm not walking around with like a Mickey Mouse tattoo, or like I'm not an adult who's like, I got to take a picture with Gaston from Beauty and the Beast or something like that. Regardless, I was thinking about, and not with admiration, but rather just with interest. How strong is the brand at Disney that Mickey Mouse has not done shit in 100 years? And I saw at least 5,000 people with a tattoo of that motherfucker on their tricep. He hasn't been in any movies. He hasn't done anything. He's just simply a symbol of the company. And people were like, that one right there, I want it on my body forever. The Disney brand is so strong. Again, much like the fact that people weren't dying, it was like a testament to the American spirit. It feels like it's one of the few things remaining that unites America and even the world across demographics. You would see people in like a MAGA 2024 hat. They'd be eating at a restaurant across from somebody wearing like a Pride backpack, and they'd be smiling and waving at each other. You see people from all walks of life. You see the young, the old, the rich, the poor. It is very expensive though, but I don't know, maybe it's like a situation. They made it happen is all I'm trying to say. Everybody's there. They're and they're in line at Disney World. They're there at the park. They'll wait in line for 30 minutes to watch a movie about the motherfucker who made Disney World. When they're inside of Disney World, they will wait in line to watch a documentary feature about Walt Disney. The dude's been dead since like 1963. You could just catch it on YouTube. But they're like, that's how much they love Disney. It's gotta be like one of the strongest brands on the planet, which is crazy. The Mickey Mouse thing is crazy to me. He doesn't do anything. I mean, if you're 107 years old and you're like, I love Mickey Mouse, I'm like, I get it. When you saw that dude going like, that probably blew your mind. But if you're like 22 and you got a tattoo of Mickey Mouse, I'm sorry to say this to you, that company owns you. He hasn't done, if you got a tattoo of like a Pixar character, I get, at least it came out when you were like a kid. You got a tattoo of Mickey Mouse as someone born in like the year 2000? You're right. You know what? You're right. You better be a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. But also, I do want to say I'm being judgmental, but I'm also not being judgmental. Because whatever's fun for you, go ahead and keep it up. I don't want to yuck your yum. This is just one of those things where I'm like, but it's surprising. It's just surprising to me. It's rare there's an NL rant I completely agree with to this degree. Thank you. Can I now maybe lose you or maybe bring you back? All that being said, the parks are like, they're a marvel of engineering and logistics. I can't fathom the amount of moving parts that are going on in any Disney World park. It's insanity. Like when you go to the airport, you know how hard it is for like 200 people to all be in the right place at the right time and sit in the seat that it says on the ticket? That's why they tell you to be at the airport 3 hours early, is because like 4 people are going to fuck it up for everybody else. At Disney World, it's just fucking you. How many people? 5? Are you going to go 2 and 3 or are you going to go 2, 2, 1? I think we're going to go 2 and 3. All right, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. Go, 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 go. They just... Hey, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away. Wait, we'll get to that later. Like, It's so fast. It's mind-boggling. It's an incredible logistics phenomena. I can see why people are like obsessed with theme parks. And a big thank you to the librarian for collating that last 45 minutes of content. What about the One Direction, that song that's like, if you like smoking Zaza in a hotel room, if you prefer to vacuum rather than use a broom, if you like using Google Meet cause you can't stand Zoom, baby, I'm perfect. So let's start right now. Something like that.